All right, let me share my screen here. So go ahead and tell us about the deal, Jason, and what you like about it.
Well, it's 159 units in Elk City, Oklahoma. I was liking it. I like the cash flow on it, looking at the NOI that I was getting.
What is that NOI?
And I was the projected.
No, it's the current.
It's around 500,000.
How many units is it?
There's
Okay,
159
500K
total, and two of the units are not counted. Is how they've got it listed. I guess those are for
so
office.
157 or 161.
157 altogether is what I'm doing.
Okay, so all right. So do you know the average rents?
I'm doing them at 610.
Okay. So let's do the math here real quick. $157 times 610. What's the occupancy?
The broker says it's at 89% right now. The rent roll that we got is a little bit older, and I've asked for an updated rent roll, so I'm still waiting on current P&L and rent roll.
Okay, so we've got 157 units times 610 is $1,149,240 times 0.89 vacancy or occupancy, I guess technically, gives us a gross rents of just over 1 million. We'll just call it 1 million. And then if we times that by, we times that by 0.45, because we're going to assume about a 55% expense ratio. There's nothing. Is there any other major income? Like, do we need to add any extra income for, like, do they have like parking charges or lockers or anything weird? Like, probably not. I'm just asking.
There is something listed here. There's let's see. There's trash, there's late fees, some fees, storage space income at $200 a month, trash removal.
What is the average monthly on that other income bracket you're looking at?
2,300.
So 2,300 times 12. We're looking at about 25 grand, right? A year?
Yes.
Okay, so then let's take let's call it 1.050, meaning 1,050,000 times 0.45 equals 472,500 NOI. Sound pretty fair?
Yes.
What's the purchase price or the asking price?
Well, I've got on the T12 that I got sent over, the purchase price was 7.5, and on the offering memorandum it was 8.375.
Yeah, I see that. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Just making sure it's working. So they've already reduced to 7.5. So we're going to take 472,500 divided by 7,500,000 or 7,500,000. Yeah, that's right. One iPhone. Give me a backspace. Ever told you that I hate iPhones? All right. 472,500 divided by 7.5. What's your cap rate you're seeing?
6.5. Yeah, and that's
Yeah, I got a 6.3. I think because we probably did this expenses a little bit better. Okay, so 6.3 cap, which is going to be pretty close or a little bit lower than the current interest rates, right? Interest rates.
yes.
I guess I haven't checked for 2 or 3 weeks or even a month, so I'm guessing they're still at about 6.5 from what I've heard. So there's one check right there. We can check to see that our cap rate is at or above current interest rates, and it's really close. It might even be below. And then, have you done any research on the market?
What I've found
big's
is
Elk
that
City?
the local income is more than 3 times what the rent is right now. There's a slight dip in
Okay.
the population. The jobs have been steady from what I've seen, but that's just preliminary looking. Yes.
Okay. How many of these
I
units
don't
have
really
been
know what
rehabbed?
else to look at.
This looks like a problem to me. Let's go look at yeah, it's a tiny town. How big is this town, do you know? I mean, we can look it up, but it's pretty small. I'm guessing maybe 10,000 people, maybe 7. Let's look it
I
up.
think it's around that, yeah, 11,000 or something. There's a dip in the population in the last 10 years by a few hundred.
Oh yeah, why?
I don't know. I want to say that was
That would be something you definitely want to know.
yeah, because you don't want to buy in a dying market or a
No.
dying neighborhood.
We got a 1.9 drop. Honestly, we should keep looking at this deal, but that kills it right there. The fact that it's a tiny town and that it's a negative 1.9, it's a dead deal. Just
Okay.
because that's probably why they're selling it. Now, of course, price is king to everything, right? At a certain price, it'd be worth it. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to tell the broker, just sometimes I don't give them a price. I just say, just let me know if it doesn't sell because we're not even in the ballpark. I mean, the problem I see here is multiple problems. Is just these small towns. I mean, there's people that do really well with this kind of stuff, but and of course, when you have a town this small, you got to go in and look at who your competition is. Obviously, you got to do that anyways. You got to find out what your market rents are. You got to search all the other apartments and see, if we look at, let's just do it real quick.
Yeah, I'll make some cookies later. I'm on the phone right now. Yes, yes. I'll let you eat some cookie dough. I don't have it made yet. We're gonna do that in a little bit.
Well, this
Kids want to eat
place
cookie dough.
appears to be sold out, but it's also showing super low rents. So 525 to 925, and the 925 is obviously going to be a 3.2. What's our unit mix at the other place? Do you know?
There are, I don't know right off, the amount of 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom. There's a couple of studios.
Here we go. 30, 52, 77. So these are probably ones and these are probably twos, but we got to get the code down here somewhere. Such a professional, Jason.
I know, man.
All right. Oh, I was talking about this guy, Jason Turner.
Thought you're just being facetious. I know I'm not the best.
And then I realized after I said it, I realized that's your first name too. I'm like, oops. Well, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be 2 floor plans for 2 twos. Well, I don't know that for sure though, and this might be a 3-2. These could be ones though too. Actually, it's got to say it on here. So, what's the status of this property right now? Like, is it past a call for offers, or is it up and coming, or is it did it go through a call for offers and it got bidded on and then the guys didn't close, or what happened?
It is still on market. I think it's been on market for a while now, actually.
That makes sense.
Really not sure why it hasn't sold, but
I can tell you why.
I guess that's why is that?
This is another town a little ways away, but look at these rents, man. 475, 575. Man, I might just move to Oklahoma. Because it's a dropping market, and it probably, do you know how much how many of them have been renovated? Like what the CapEx has been? Like what it looks like pool seems to be like it's renovated somewhat recently. This looks a little 80s-ish, but do you know if there's a certain amount of them that are rehabbed?
There are some that are rehabbed, and they have some that are still needing to be rehabbed or have that option. The recent rehab was done in 2021, and as far as a number of the units, I don't think he included that. He was talking about incorporating a RUBS program as part of the value add, and then they've not renovated all of the units. Some are classics, and he didn't send numbers over for that. I don't know if obviously the guy's busy, but I've sent him a few emails.
Jason, why do you like this deal, Jason?
I was looking at the cash flow and the number of units mostly.
Okay.
I was looking at a cap rate that was around the interest rate, something
How
like
far
that.
are you from the deal? How far do you live from that place?
About 3.5 hours. So I could drive there in a day and get home, or I could drive there. It's within driving distance, pretty easy.
So what I would ask the broker is, I would ask him how long it's been on the market, why it hasn't sold, what the unit mix is, what A1, A2, and B1 means, and then how many have been rehabbed, how much CapEx was put in 2021, and then ask him what he thinks the market rent is. Make him tell you why the market rent's what it is. Ask him who his comparables are. It's a small town. I mean, that one we looked at, obviously we didn't put a bunch of time into it, but the one we did look at looked like it was full. But I would ask him, has anyone made offers? Did someone try to close it and they didn't get it closed? Is the seller a real seller, right? So like Grant says, if find out if the seller is just kind of putting it out there to see if he can get his number, or if he's like, dude, I got to sell this because I'm building the mid-rise in Oklahoma City or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then in that case, they would be more motivated to sell.
Yeah, well, we're looking to know if they're like going to sell for sure or not. You know, some people, we're seeing less of it now because when the market was high, we had some people just throwing it out there. Like, let's just throw it out there at a 3 cap, see if it sells. And then they're like, you know, just telling the broker, oh, I won't take anything less than a 3 cap. Don't even call me. You know, they're like, not even serious. They're like, I'll sell it if I can get 20 million over what I paid, you know, but they're not a real seller. They're like, and some of them did get 20 million over what they paid or whatever. But now we're seeing, you know, if there's some pain with the seller, meaning, you know, he's losing money or he has to, I didn't go into the financials, but where he has to sell for some reason, then you want to know the seller situation to know if they're a real seller.
Yeah, part of the financials the seller had listed an asking price of 7.5, and they also had a section where they were offering seller finance, and I guess that is not there anymore. That's unavailable now. But the seller was wanting like 9% interest on a second position on the debt.
Is there assumable debt? Is that what you're saying? And then they would came in with the second position?
I guess so. Is how that would have worked out. Let me see
Yeah,
what.
so if you had to do that, then you got to really calculate at 9%. You got to calculate your cash flow based on two different notes, right? So you got debt service for 2 notes, and the second note, however much that is, being, you know, how, you know, you got to find out like how far. Well, if he took that away, then you got to ask why they took it away, right? And it doesn't sound like it would have worked anyways. But I would just ask these questions, like, you know, and when I hear that the seller was willing to carry a second, he's probably motivated a little bit. But of course, the second at 9%, man, you're going to be your cash flow is going to be gone.
Yeah,
because that will eat you up for interest.
I think
but that's kind of cool because you might be able to offer something like you need to find out if there's a first that's assumable, or if you know, buy the whole thing on a contract where, you know, it's just a certain payment per month, or you can do a seller carry second behind the first. And if they're willing to do that, then maybe you can just put an offer in that's low enough to where it works. Because the price is not bad. I still, though, I guess, never mind. After all that, the problem is we've got a declining city and it's too small.
right. So you really wouldn't have the value add whenever you don't have the population there to support it. Right.
Well, you could get the value add. It's just a lot harder. I mean, these small towns, you struggle, man. It's just, there's just less people. I mean, I think the rule of thumb for me would be, you know, minimum of 60,000, I would say. I mean, of course,
as far as population.
As far as population goes, yeah.
Okay.
So to have like an avatar.
The more, the better. But yeah, man, I think this one's a turn down. But let's look at more, and then we'll put this in the group too. If that's all right with you, if anybody wants to, you know, I'll let everybody know that it was you that brought the deal, and we'll put it in the group. And I think everybody in the group can benefit from this review. And then if somebody does want to take it down, I can contact you, and you guys can work on it.
Okay. Yeah, it says the interest rate on the primary debt is 5.5%. 30-year
How much is it?
amortization. 5.6.
How much is the balance?
5,625,000 is what they've got it listed here. But this also came from the broker, and I can't.
That's actually
can't
kind of
swear
attractive because that's what, almost 80%. Yeah, that is 80%. That's 80% of, wait, 7
75%.
times 8 is 56. So at 7 million, it would be 80%. Yeah, dude, that's actually a good thing, because then you would have, then if your guy were to carry another 10 or 20%, your fundraise would be really small on this. Your fundraise would only be, well, even if the guy didn't carry, your fundraise would only be 2 million plus capex.
Okay.
So that's not that makes it a little more attractive, but I really hate seeing that negative 1.9 on the U.S. Census. So if I was going to move forward with this, I would probably have someone that has CoStar pull a CoStar report on the actual asset, and then you could see the true demographics of the town. But I think what we should do is we should just put it in the group and let people mull it over a little bit.
Okay, that would be great. I sent over the financials to Jerry Miles, and he sent me a soft debt quote, which I looked over, and he had it listed. Well, he said a few things. First of all, the occupancy was a little bit low, so it wouldn't qualify for, right now, it would not qualify for agency debt. But the quote that he had, yeah. But the quote that he had, I guess it was like 65% LTV, and the equity raise was like 2.9. And when I did that math,
6.5?
7.25.
Yeah, so that's out, right? I mean, obviously the debt we have is a higher loan to value, and it's a lower rate. So the existing debt's way better, which makes me wonder, do you know when this guy paid, how long he's owned it and what he bought it for?
No, not exactly.
This guy's just trying to skin a couple million off the top of it, but he's also probably got $1 million or $2 million into it. I have a feeling this guy's motivated, because there's not a lot of room here. I mean, if he bought this in 2020, which I bet he did if he rehabbed in 2021 or 20, somewhere in that area, then he probably, oh wow, I think I know what happened. So then he probably bought it, put some money into it, started rehabbing it, realized the town is shrinking, decided he wants to sell it.
Yeah, I think it was the last time it was sold was like for 5 million. And
well, it's got to be more than that, because he's got, oh, I guess he could have refied, and yeah, he could have bought it in like 18 for 5 million and refied and cashed out his LP partners.
there's a special warranty deed in August of last year, or August of 21, for 5 million. That's a bit. 2 years, 5 million.
Yeah, but that's interesting, because maybe the debt numbers that the broker gave you are off. Because he said there's a 5.625 million loan.
Yeah, some of the numbers are definitely off somewhere, and that was another reason I wanted some help trying to figure out what I'm looking at exactly. You know?
Yeah. Well, I like the assumable debt, assuming intentional pun on words, assuming that it is if it's 5.6 million assumable debt at 5.5, that's pretty good. But I don't like the small town, so let's put it in the group, see if anybody wants to look at it, and go from there.
Yeah. Great.
All right.
Let's do that.
Let's see here.
And I'll start looking in some cities with a little bit more population.
Yeah, definitely.